Kenya, the leading avocado producer in Africa and 6th in the world, with 1 million avocado farmers who farm in 77,000 acres of land. And they only rely on this fruit for their daily livelihood. Unfortunately, this thriving industry is facing extinction from an invasive pest spreading like wildfire from farm to farm. This is the pashamite, Origonicus Persea. Known to cause high leaf defoliation and fruit fall, most farmers are yet to understand what it is, what causes or spread it, and how they can manage to prevent or control it. Today, we focus on understanding what pashamites are, their origin, growth cycle, signs of infestation, how to identify them, and finally, the most effective way to control them. We shall also understand whether it only affects avocados alone or if there are other crops that are at risk of infestation. What are pashamites? What are the Origonicus Persea? Pashamites are tiny arachnids that feed on avocado leaves, causing damage in the form of necrotic spots and defoliation. This has caused huge economic losses to thousands of Kenyan farmers who rely on avocado farming for their livelihood. Pashamites is native to Mexico in the state of Michoacan, where avocado production is greatest. It was first described in 1975 from specimen collected from Mexico forage that was intercepted at the El Paso, Texas quarantine facility. Since then, it has been described in several countries including Costa Rica, Israel, Portugal, Spain, and Italy. It was first reported in Africa in Morocco in 2019. In Kenya, it was first observed and reported in Nakuru County in November 2023, and since then, it has spread to other countries. So, how does it manage to grow and spread that quickly? To understand this, we have to look at the life cycle of pashamites. The pashamite undergoes 5 developmental stages. The first one is egg. The eggs are laid singly on the underside of the leaves within the protective silk nest. Eggs are loud, pale, yellow, and develop red eye spots as they mature. Mature adults can lay 20 to 45 eggs. The second stage is the larva stage. 6-legged, pale yellow to greenish emerging from the egg and beginning to feed on epidermal cells of the leaves. The third stage is protonymph, 8-legged, larger than the larva, and continues feeding and developing. The other stage is a deutonymph, further enlarged 8-legged stage leading to adulthood. Then we go to the other stage, adulthood. 8-legged, females are about 0.5 millimeters long, oval-shaped, slightly flattened, yellowish green with dark spots. Males are smaller and pear-shaped. The adult is the most destructive stage of the mite. Throughout the entire life cycle of pashamites, they have the ability to feed on the leaves in 4 out of the 5 stages, which explains the rapid infestation. Development from egg to adult takes about 10 days, though it may be shorter in warm temperatures of 30 degrees Celsius. Pashamites populations are often low in cold seasons below 20 degrees Celsius. So, at this point, how do then pashamites manage to feed? Pashamites feed in colonies on the underside of the leaf. They use their mouthparts to pierce the leaf tissue and suck sap, causing damage to the cells and removing chlorophyll. Their feeding results in circular yellow-dark brown necrotic spots on the leaves. Severe infestation can lead to leaf wilt and defoliation, exposing trees to sunburn and potentially reducing the fruit size and the yield. Pashamites are found on the undersides of avocado leaves, often in colonies, and on the twigs. The mites create protective webbings around their feeding sites, often appearing as silvery spots on the underside of the leaf, along the midrib and the veins. This is what makes most insecticides ineffective against pashamites. How do pashamites manage to spread from one tree to another or from one farm to another? Pashamites are primarily dispersed through wind-assisted movement using silk strands and by crawling between plant parts. The most effective spread is through human activities like transporting infested plant material or equipment or food. While natural dispersal is limited to neighboring trees, human activities can lead to long-distance spread. The mite sticks to garments, farm tools, and equipment and spread to other farms. Let's now look and focus on the signs and symptoms of pashamites infestation in avocado. The first sign is circular spots. Pashamites can be detected by distinct circular yellow to dark brown necrotic spots scattered along the veins and midribs on the undersides of avocado leaves. The spots become visible through the upper surface of the green leaves on trees. The second sign is bronzing. Bronzing effect is a gradual change in color to reddish brown. In avocado, the leaves turn from green to yellow to reddish brown, resulting in light-colored canopies upon heavy infestation. And the other sign is webbing. Protective, densely woven nests develop along the midribs and veins on the lower side of the leaves, which appear as silvery spots. The mites lay eggs in the web. At this point, as a farmer, I know you're asking yourself, how then can you manage to identify these pashamites in avocado? Pashamites monitoring requires early detection done by scouting. This should be done every 7 to 10 days. Check for the signs and symptoms of infestation by observing the upper and the underside of the leaf. To confirm the presence of pashamites, use any of the following methods below. Use a hand lens and check the underside of the leaf. Get a leaf and expose the underside to direct sunlight for 1 minute. Observe the leaf to see the movement of the mites. Sample leaves and shake them on white paper. Observe under the sun to see the presence of mites on the white surface. After you identify, here is now how you can manage to control the pashamites in avocados. Since they are small in size and difficult to detect through the normal mite infestation, it only means you can only detect them from the damage resulting from the infestation and identify them based on the signs and symptoms. The best way is implementing a preventive control measure on the crop calendar. According to the Center for Invasive Species Research, release of predatory mites as Miscellaneous californicus for pashamite control has been shown to be very effective. In Kenya, you can find it in the market as Spico Ultimate from Copat. Spico Ultimate contains predatory mites that actively seek and feed on the mites, naturally reducing their population. It should be placed in the trees early before any sign is made as a precaution. Though there is yet no specific chemical approved so far for total eradication of pashamites in Kenya, use of normal miticides can help in the control and prevention. Farmers have reported that application of escort, emamectin benzoate, or emalon, lufenilon plus emamectin benzoate, or olvin acephate, or diazone or diazinium is effective in total eradication of pashamites. However, affected leaves still defoliate in instances of heavy infestation. When sourcing for seedlings, check out for pashamite infestation to avoid spreading them to your farm. When applying your chemicals, begin with less infested areas, heading to the most infested areas to prevent the spread. Tool used and clothing should be always cleaned with the insecticide too to prevent the spread. Though the lab has cultivar is quite resistant to pashamite, Picaton has and Gwen cultivars remain highly susceptible to pashamite infestation at the ranking of 30.2%, that 7.4%, and that 8.4% respectively. The sad thing is that our pashamites do not only affect avocados alone. Other host crop of pashamites include plantar species, that is apricots, peaches, plums, ornamentals such as roses, acacia, and bamboo, weeds such as the blackjack, oxalis, conculata, also Castanea sativa meal, and also the capsicum species. Worst of all is that it also affects our passion fruits, posing another threat to farmers who intercrop it or farm the passion fruits alone. It is therefore advisable to keep the farm as clean as possible, free of weeds and debris at all time. At this point, you as an avocado farmer, how you are managing to control passion mites in your farms? What are the chemicals that you're using? Have they been effective? What other practicing and management measures have you put in place, and have they worked in the control of passion mites? Let know at the comment section. And thank you for watching this, and let me see you next on our video. Here we shall discuss on how you can manage now to grow avocados from seeds to harvest. Thank you, and let me see you then.